You like the headset? My work headset, but it's going to have to work today. So here's the deal. Just had an epiphany. I embrace my traumatic past. The traumas. Not the drama. The drama too. I embrace it. I'm not going to pretend like horrible things didn't happen and that there were hardships and things I had to go through and that there were a bunch of obstacles I had to overcome. You know what I do instead is I embrace those and I analyze them and I learn from them. I reflect upon them. I accept it. And you know what I've seen in people who don't do that is they develop, first off, they cycle the same behavior. How many times you hear somebody say, I'm never going to do what my mom or dad did. I'm not going to act like that. And then they end up acting like that. So you will cycle the same behavior if you don't acknowledge it and address it and embrace it. There's a lot of rough edges with me. I'm not going to pretend like I am not what I am or that I haven't experienced what I've experienced. And I've come into a nice comfort zone to where I'm comfortable with who I am, what I am, how I handle things. Doesn't mean I don't question my judgment sometimes and my actions, but for the most part, everything is producing good results now. Everything's working well. My relationships are all good around me, right? I have healthy boundaries. I insist that I have healthy relationships, because if it's not, then I won't affiliate with somebody that's toxic. Even a client, there's a certain threshold of mistreatment or abuse, if we want to use that strong of a word, that I'm willing to take even in business. And if it breaches a certain point, it's just not worth it to me. There's kind of a matrix I have on that, especially anything else. My personal life, when it comes to friends, family, anything else, my relationships are healthy. I'm in a position where, I'm able to help other people, right? Whether it's coaching or sponsorship or my children or my significant other or, the sober living. I'm able to help people, right? I've figured some things out, and 100% I attribute that to, somehow being beat to the point where I was able to, thank goodness, obtain some humility and some accountability and understand, there were a lot of things that happened outside of my control to me, but there's also a lot of things that are in my control. And one of them is acknowledging what happened to me and, embracing who I am as a result, and not pretending like, la 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 la, la 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 la, like nothing happened. The fingers in your ears, hear no evil, see no evil, a lot of people put their head in the proverbial sand and, don't you dare talk about my mom or my dad, and it's this, or whoever it is. And there's this big defensive wall that goes up. Like, just because your parents may have made poor choices and screwed up doesn't mean they didn't love you, oftentimes, not every time. But you can still love your mom and dad and be critical of some of the actions and some of the courses that they took. My kids have the right to do this too, and they will. Love them to death. I'm just doing my best. We're all trying to figure it out. We're all doing our best. So I've just seen, not only do people who ignore their past and not embrace what they've become and love it and appreciate who you are. Maybe you're a little rough around the edges. Maybe you're a little tougher mindset than the average person who maybe didn't have some of the issues that you or I did growing up. Abandonment, abuse, neglect, some of the other issues that we've had to go through. Some stories are worse than others, some lives are harder, but we all have obstacles we had to overcome, right? So when you look back on those, maybe you had it tougher than others, and as a result, you're a tougher person. Maybe you're a little more rough around the edges, like I said, and guess what? That's okay. There's a place and a reason. There's a reason for that. There's a place for that in this world, and it's okay. I'm just embracing that. It's working well in my family. Very happy with it. I'm happy with the results in my life. It took a while, and it's a stark contrast to people who want to avoid the truth and avoid the realities. That leads to destruction, leads to all types of disorders. Be wary of people like that. If we can be brave enough to embrace our past, go back together and say, here's what happened. This is what the 12 steps are all about. We go back together and we say, okay, who are we? What are we? What happened to us? What have we done? Let's acknowledge it, and then let's make it right. And then, connected to a power greater than ourselves through a spiritual awakening, we can live our lives free people. And we're able to help other people. And if we help others, we get to keep it. It's awesome. It's a cool process. So good luck with it. Thanks.